Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another drawing art session. Today I'm working on more protector cores. Still on page 1. I didn't get nearly as far as I wanted to this weekend, but at least I've got some done. So I got panel 1 done, which is, as you can see here, I'm closing it. Close that up there, or give a close-up. The pencils in Manga Studio, I am really happy with. I mean, it looks like pencil to me, and very much in line with what I did traditionally with the pages for this particular comic. So I'm dead certain that I'm just going to go ahead and do this all digitally, with maybe the exception of if there's any really big pages, splash pages that I may want as art to sell. But for the most part, I think I'm going to stick with this. It's no less, or it's no more time consuming than drawing on paper and scanning it in and tweaking it and so on. So just get at it. So let's see here. So panel 2, I'm working on the captain of General Chaya's forces, and let me see here. Do the blue lines there for you. That looks a little messy, but I can tell what's going on. Basically, the captain and the general are walking. Get my pencil. Are walking on the top deck of another ship, like the one here to the right, and they'd be up in this area. They've come in this ship. They've walked down this ramp. Here's the back fin. I'm not sure if I'm going to have a bunch of ships in the background, or maybe one or two besides the two that are leaving the fleet. And he's, asking her why they've left, and panel 3 is her, there's someone I want to see broken before our victory. She's so sure. And the final panel on the page I'm still working out, which is Guardian in the conversion chamber with Mephistus watching over. But for now, I decided to just tackle panel 2 and panel 3. So let's bring that back down and draw. I don't know how. I've got a late start today. Sorry about that. I've been. Yeah, come on. I've been trying to get other things done around the house, and that has occupied me. We've got a lot of yard work done today. Over the weekend, we're trying to get the house ready in general to have friends over soon. We haven't really had any house guests since we bought the place. Most of our friends actually live out of state. Not that we don't have friends here, but we just don't have people that we hang out with. Let's move this forward. Where'd it go? Okay. Also worked on the garden and worked on getting fence work done, because we're doing fixing our fence finally. but it's going to go in stages because I can only do so much at a time. And we decided to not do too much over the weekend because it was going to be raining, but we did do, got one side of the yard taken care of with weeds and so on. Let's see here. Let's see, what else? Really didn't do much beyond that. Just it's cleaning and housework, and played a video game. Needed to just kind of unwind that way. So, let me see, what can I... For those of you that don't know the Protector Cores, this guy that I'm drawing, well, he's a new character in the sense of he's going to have a name and so on, and I haven't decided fully on what his name is going to be, and he's slightly different from all the others soldiers. This type of soldier is a hound, and basically they're... Well, one of the things that Mephistus does with his power, he turns people into zombies. He's called the Zombie Lord, and his power controls people. Now, normal people more or less become fodder. They become fuel sources. Protector humanoids, people who have superpowers of any kind, usually become hounds. They can last longer, they're more resilient, and he gets far more power from them. And so these guys, they're in a suit that contains necronium, which is a weaponized version of Mephistus's main power set, which is this gas or mist that kills you. As one of the things with Mephistus that I came up for his history is that he's one of the oldest Lords of Twilight, next to Hister, and they actually met during the opening first couple of years of World War II, while it was still referred to as World War II. Before even the Lords of Twilight, he was just a minion of Hister. Anyways, he didn't even know he was a Protector class humanoid, and he was sent to the gas chambers at a concentration camp, and he died, but that death triggered his transformation, and he became one with the poison gas, and he was able to raise a handful of people at most for a very short time period, and he ended up attacking and killing the people of the garrison, but Hister tracks him down and convinces him to become one of his lieutenants. And over time, Mephistus has learned how to weaponize his power, but it's taken quite a long time to do that. And that's why suddenly the war, they were at a stalemate for a very long time, and then he finally had his breakthrough. Excuse me. And the war suddenly leapt forward to this conclusion. And his power, Mephistus, his power runs everything now. The ships, it's the power source that lifts them and keeps them going. All of his troops are infused with it. And Mephistus, where protectors usually gain power from the living, Mephistus is unique in that he gets his power from the dead. And the more dead there are, the more powerful he is. And he has been on this side, his conquest isn't just to, to win the war for Hister, but to win the war for himself and become the new Lord of Twilight. And he's doing it by poisoning the earth and slowly killing off the population, where, well, it's part of the plot of the book, so, or a small part. But, so anyways, these are hounds. The big machines with the singular eye are sentries, and they basically have a hound at the center, but it's a more powerful one. And usually they've come up through the ranks, have demonstrated that they can handle the necronium, and they are basically fused into these giant suits that are the sentries. Let's see. Hang on. The blender. As I blather on. But you know, that's part of the fun of watching this stuff. Blather, blather, blather. Blotter, blotter, blotter. And a lot of that history is going to be brought up in the books over, hopefully, the course of all the stories. Right now, the first arc is dealing with this last night. Well, won't tell you what the other arcs are because I don't want to ruin the story. But I have some outlines. And even with this story, I'm actually still writing it, but I was having a story block, so I wanted to sit down and kind of work through it and say, look, this is really going to happen. This is starting. You need to get your butt in gear. I want to move on to other stories. And I want to see how this one ends. I'm kind of like that as a writer. Even if I kind of know, or I shouldn't say kind of, even if I know where the ending is, or what it's going to be, until I have drawn it, or until I've written it, you know, I want to, I want to see the ending. It's sort of like a movie to me in my head, and until it's down on paper, And until it's on that page with everything else, it's all up in the air, and it isn't canon until it's printed. Let's see here. Can you believe watching the news or reading the news? Because I used to be a news hound and I just can't watch the news anymore, or not as regularly as I used to. But seeing online that some of my friends back east are reporting that they got up and there's a surprise snowstorm. It's like, wow, Sunday was Easter, and it was apparently really cold back there, but not snow. And then the next day, snow. Like, yeah, happy spring. No. Back that up. And okay. Bingo, Boppo, Boppo, bingo.
If you want to be absolutely sure you have the right paint color, order paint samples from HomeDepot.com.
I don't get that.
8-ounce jars of confidence.
Ever since I installed some of the pencils, because I've settled on the set that I'm using now, which has all of the goes from H9 down to F and H and HB all the way up to, oh, excuse me. Oh my, it's early morning for me. To 9B, so, which is how I drew the original pages. So I was very glad when I found this, because I found other pencil-like brushes, and they were all fairly okay, but this one, or this set, is really giving me the full dynamic of actually, or the full feel of actually drawing with these pencils. And I'm really just happy with that. However, since I installed some of these, and I don't know which ones, my program has been acting weird, and periodically it does this recovery thing, and I hope it doesn't happen during the stream, and the screen will go blank, or black, and it was really, really frustrating. And it was happening so much that I had to stop Saturday night. I was like, I'm just not going to deal with this anymore. Too frustrated. And I like that in this set, that the blender is right there in the center of it all, and I don't have to bounce back and forth between the different tool sets unless I want to. Bring that down just a little bit more. Okay. It'd be helpful helpful if you had a pencil. Hephaestus' symbol. Back to some lighter. So, boom. I meant to go to the movies over the weekend, but with all the yard work that we did around the house after we were done, I was done. I was like, no, I don't feel like doing anything, so we didn't go see Ready Player One. Maybe next weekend. But you know I'm going to be going and seeing Avengers come opening weekend, because I'm not waiting. I mean, I'll wait till the weekend, but that's as far as the waiting goes. I do not want that movie spoiled for me. I want to be surprised. Now, I've watched some of the trailers just to, assure myself that yes, this is going to be amazing, and yes, it looks like it's going to be amazing. So, and I'm sure there's going to be lots of twists and turns, and the constant who's going to die, someone has to die. Like, oi, yes, someone's probably going to die. And if it even remotely follows the comic book, I know who that at least one person is. But they've said that they've changed things up from the comic book, so you can't go by that other than for the broad strokes, I think. Because a lot of people die in the Infinity Gauntlet in the comic book, if you haven't read it. So it'll be interesting to see how it's different, but it's gonna be one of those things where it doesn't matter if it's different. They've done a really good job of establishing their own stories. By they, I mean the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I've been quite happy with it for the most part. I hope we get the Fantastic Four in there eventually, and that I suspect Marvel will turn them around from what Fox has done to them. I really wish they were in the upcoming movie, because they were part of the storyline, just like Galactus and Silver Surfer, and Silver Surfer had a big part in it, and we're not going to get that, so kind of bummed by that, but it is what it is. Oh, really? Wow. I've got to be going in the next few minutes. I can't believe that. I am so sorry. I wanted a longer art session. But with these pencil sessions, especially with this comic, not as much is going to get done in a session unless it's a really long one, because this is my baby, and I want to maintain the quality that I put forward in the first couple of issues, if not surpass it. So that means building shades by, cross-hatching and all of that, and smudging and building as if it was on paper. Otherwise, the look is not going to be the same. So, oh, you know what? Before I go, let's go ahead and get this last leg in on his armor. Oh, yeah, there we are. Okay. Well, let's back up from that. Right, well, it was a quick session. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have a fantastic day. If you're interested in my art, please check out some of the videos that are hopefully still in the catalog here. I will be re-uploading some past streams, or you can go to rltpress.com by clicking any of the buttons on my page, so you can see some of the other art, or check out the line It Is Drawn. That comes out every Friday. I don't put art in it every Friday because I do stuff like this. However, the line does come out every Friday. And you just have a great week, and thank you for watching.